So here they are, the first 3 Les Eaux by Chanel. They will be released this upcoming Saturday, and this is the countdown to the release. These are the first 3 samples: Paris Deauville, Paris Venice, and Paris Biarritz. There will be further coming out in the future. I have received confirmation by Chanel that, in fact, these are only the first 3. Les Eaux will be an entire new series of fragrances that will go parallel to the Les Exclusives as well as the regular main release or mass release perfumes by Chanel. Nevertheless, even though these will be part of the Les Eaux range, they will be exclusive to Chanel beauty boutiques and some Chanel clothing boutiques. Probably with time they might find a broader distribution, but for now they are limited in the distribution. So now let's get into each one of these 3. This is the first impression review of Chanel Paris Venice, one of the first 3 releases of the Les Eaux by Chanel. These will be new fragrance. It's a new fragrance range that Chanel will be releasing this coming Saturday, in addition to their already Les Exclusives ranges and their regular mass released perfumes. This one, when we open it up, this is a sample, 1.5 milliliter spray here. The original size bottles as of now that will be available to purchase are only available in 125 milliliter spray size. Then 3 months after the release of the perfumes, Chanel will also be releasing the hair and body shower gel. Here you get a sample of 7 milliliter, plus the body lotion, here also in 7 milliliter. Paris Venice, Paris Venice, this is the bottle. This is how the bottle looks like, inspired by one of the photos taken of Marilyn Monroe with her Chanel No. 5 Eau de Cologne splash bottle from the 50s, I would say. That's kind of inspiration. It's flat on the front and curved on the sides. These should have been eau de colognes, but Chanel kind of lists them as eau de toilette. In the back, you could see this almost iridescent writing on the white mattified paper. You have this tone-sur-tone effect, slightly metallic. It says eau de toilette, made in France, 1.5 ml spray. The batch number is 2601. Beautiful little sample packaging. This is the, of the 3 new releases, Biarritz, Deauville, and Venice. Venice is the one I've been most looking forward to because it's described as an Oriental. Plus, I simply love the city of Venice. So it's just a no-brainer to me. This one, when Coco Noir came out, it was advertised as kind of Chanel in Venice. Coco Chanel on the gondolas in Venice, black and white photos of her from the 50s. It made me really want to have that perfume even more. On top of that, the fact that the bottle was black. But now we get a perfume that's actually called Paris Venice, and I am totally in it. So let's try it out. This is the first impressions, I've never smelled it before, of Paris Venice. And it doesn't want to spray. Don't ever rub the perfume once you spray it on, because you don't want to damage the molecules of the fragrance. You just want it to blend into your own skin, to blend in with your own essential oils, with your own molecules, with your own hormones. You just want it to let it linger. Okay. So this one is definitely the most modern of the 3. This one is the most kind of Chanel of the last 5 years to me. It's definitely, there's a little hair there. It's definitely a little bit, you see how oily it is? Look how it kind of shines on my skin. It kind of reflects light differently. It's more dense, it's more oily. It's really, first impression, it's a mix between Coco Mademoiselle and Coco Noir. Interesting that I mentioned Coco Noir before ever even smelling this one, and now I'm kind of getting that vibe. Of the 3, it's the least surprising, at least in the opening notes. Now, mind you, this is just the first impressions video. I will be I already reserved, pre-ordered all 3 of them. So when they hit the stores, when they hit the Chanel beauty boutiques this Saturday, I will be getting all 3 of them, and then I will be wearing them with consistency so that I could get a total kind of a full-blown picture of what I think of them, how they wear, how they last, the longevity, the projection, how do they wear in heat, in cold, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, depending on your mood. You know, all of these things affect a review of a fragrance, and it takes time to get to know a fragrance. It's like getting to know a person. You can have a first impression, but then you need some time to get to know them better. This one is the least impressive of the 3. You can see it on the packaging on the other side like that. I have to say it's the least impressive because it smells like something we already know from Chanel from the past 5 years. It is beautiful. It is elegant. And I'm sure the dry down is going to be very, very impressive in its own way. But I have to say, for now, Paris Deauville is the one that impresses me the most, because Paris Deauville is the one that reminds me of Chanel Cristal. It reminds me of the 70s. It has that gorgeous sense of just being relaxed and enjoying luxury, like late 70s, early 80s. That type of vibe, that's what Paris Deauville delivers. It's like the return of Cristal. While Paris Venise, it's a bit more opulent. It's not really there in terms, it's not even close to Coromandel, to the oriental vibe of Coromandel. Coromandel is the king or queen, genderless, ruler supreme of the Chanel Orientals together with Coco. This one is a bit lighter, but I have to say, as time passes, it mellows down. That entire Coco Mademoiselle and Coco Noir opening vibe dissipates. It leaves us to a much softer, I'm smelling it right now, that's why I'm taking my time. A softer version of something warm, slightly acidy, but warm and fluffy. Oily, warm, fluffy, acidy. Let's just put it that way. So I would say Paris Venise, I'm definitely going to need to wait until this one dries down. The dry down of this one is what's going to make it or break it. I'm loving it, but just of the 3, you know, people say, oh, Oriental, so you're imagining something from faraway lands and you have these whole stories in your mind, but it's the least far away from our notion of modern Chanel fragrances. At the moment, this is the one that kind of is the most expected, if you want. It's the one that smells like you would expect a Chanel perfume from the last 5 years to smell. In that respect, it's not the furthest away. So that would be the first impressions of Paris Venise. Now, of course, I'm going to have to, you know, wear it several days when the actual original 125 milliliter bottle size is purchased. When I start using it, that's going to kind of give me the impression of what this perfume is really all about once I've tested it in all sorts of environments. And then the real review of this one will follow as soon as possible. For now, it's pleasant. It kind of is turning earthy, but not as groundbreaking to me as is Paris Deauville.